Manchester United and Arsenal in the midst of drastic goal droughts at the moment, and you'll struggle to find many Chelsea fans who think Nicholas Jackson is the next coming of Didier Drogba. FFP constraints will also stop most Prem sides from spending big this month without moving players on. And with Ivan Toney saying he owes Brentford for sticking by him during his 8-month betting ban, it's almost certain the £100 million man will stay put this month. So with options limited on these shores, Sunsport's Jordan Davis has highlighted 7 of Europe's most informed frontmen who they could turn to instead of Toney. Serhou Guirassy at Stuttgart. With 17 goals in 14 Bundesliga games this season, the Ghanaian is one of the hottest properties in Europe right now. Had he not suffered a hamstring injury in October, he could have had even more goals and broken Robert Lewandowski's Bundesliga record of 13 in his opening 7 games. Remarkably, his release clause this month is only £15.1 million, which makes him a very enticing prospect for any English side looking for a January bargain. Jonathan David at Lille has just 18 months left on his contract, which means the Canadian international is unlikely to be sticking around in France for long. The 23-year-old scored 24 goals in 37 league games last season, but despite going off the ball with just 5 in 17 this term, AC Milan are among many clubs still keen to bring him in. 30 to 40 million quid should land him for any Prem side. Serbian Dusan Vlahovic at Juventus is the one that got away for Arsenal in January 2022, as the striker opted for a £70 million move to Juventus instead, where he signed a 4-year deal. Hamstring injuries have hampered the 23-year-old's progress, although he still scored a respectable 24 goals in 59 league games. And with Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta still a fan and Juventus needed to comply with financial fair play regulations, 50 million quid could be enough to get him through the door at the Emirates in January. 22-year-old prospect at Feyenoord Santiago Jimenez is one of the hottest properties on the continent right now, with the Argentine forward likely to cost around £60 million. The Dutch side will be desperate to hang on for as long as they can, given he steered the club to the title last season with 15 goals in 32 Eredivisie games. And he's already topped that this time around with 18 in 16 league appearances. Lois Openda at RB Leipzig is one of 2 men who's been keeping Spurs-bound Timo Werner out of the Leipzig starting 11, and he's only behind Guirassy and Harry Kane in this season's Bundesliga goal chart, with the 23-year-old having bagged 11 so far. Leipzig paid Lons £40 million for him last summer, but with 4.5 years left on his contract and a £70 million release clause activating in July, he will not be a cheap winter buy. Nigerian Victor Boniface at Bayer Leverkusen is flourishing under former Liverpool midfielder Xabi Alonso, with 10 goals in 16 Bundesliga games since the 23-year-old joined from Union Saint-Gilloise for £17 million in the summer. With 4 years left on his contract, it cost around £40 to £50 million to force Leverkusen's hand this month, but an injury likely to keep him out for at least 6 more weeks may deter Prem clubs from moving in January. 24-year-old striker Terem Moffi at Nice took Boniface's AFCON spot with Nigeria, and he'll be keen to return fit and healthy, with several clubs ready to take a gamble this month. West Ham tried to land him last January for £25 million, and his value has only soared since then after 6 goals in 16 French top-flight games since he signed permanently in the summer. He made his name at Lorient with 34 league goals in 2.5 seasons and has helped Nice to 2nd spot in the French top flight, just 5 points behind leaders PSG.